Hi guys, this is your homework tonight. I'm gonna go over a couple to make sure you're on the right track. We talked about reading the equation and finding the slope off the equation in y equals mx plus b form. So we're circling the m, that is the number in front of x, coefficient of x. If we see the same number, it's parallel. If we see a flip and change of the sign, flip of the number and change of the sign is perpendicular. And if neither of these happen, then we write neither. So we were on number 5. And right off the bat, let me just change my font here. I can just see this first equation is in slope-intercept form, and the m is, or the slope is -5 here, okay? So what I need to do is find the slope to the second equation, which is not in slope-intercept form. So I'm gonna have to work that out on our paper. So if we go here, I'm gonna make this number 5. We did number 4 in our paper as well in class. So we have x minus 5y equals 30. We have to solve for y. So that means we have to eliminate the x first. So this would be minus x minus x. So this now becomes a negative, negative 5y equals negative x plus 30. Now we can't have a coefficient of y, a number in front of y, so that lets me know what to divide each term by. So we're going to do a -5 divided by -5. Now the -5's cancel. Y equals a positive 1/5 x minus 6. And I can now see that my slope is 1/5. So I'm just going to go ahead and write for this one here. Sorry, m equals 1/5. And I can see these are opposite reciprocals of each other. If I flip this and then change it to a negative, it'll be end up being perpendicular lines because of the slopes being perpendicular. So if it's perpendicular, we are coloring it blue. So I'm just going to highlight this blue. Okay. And if it's not perpendicular or parallel, then we keep it uncolored. So number 6 here is not in slope-intercept form. So we're going to need to work those out. Let me just kind of recap again. So you take your standard form. The first equation is 3x plus 2y equals 8, and we're solving for y. So we have to get rid of the x term by doing the opposite. So this becomes minus 3x minus 3x. Okay, 3x cancels on the left. Just rewrite this as 2y equals, put the x term first, minus 3x plus 8. We'll put the x term first because we want it to look like slope-intercept form, which is mx plus b. Okay, so we're trying to get to this m. Now, because there's a number in front of the y, we don't have a number in front of the y in that form. That means we need to divide to get rid of that number. Each term is divided by that number in front, so that is 2. So now our y equals a negative 3 over 2x, and this would be plus 4. And I can see that my slope is a negative 3 over 2 for the first equation. Now, I need to do this also for the second equation because we had 2 equations in standard form. The second equation was 2x plus 3y equals negative 12. Yeah. Now we might see a pattern here. Some of just saw it in class, but basically I'm still solving for y. If you can't see it, there's something that's showing here, but there's something that's missing. You can see it. I first eliminate the 2x by subtracting 2x on both sides. I now have 3y equals a negative 2x minus 12. And then we are dividing each term, everything by the 3, the coefficient of y, the number in front. So y equals a negative 2/3 x minus 4. And here our slope is a negative 2/3. So these are reciprocals, but they're not opposite reciprocals because they both are negative. So this means that this would be neither. So we don't have to color this, right? You keep it uncolored if it's neither. If you want, you can just put an N for neither, right? So like if you have it in y equals by itself already, like for on number 7, I see the first equation, the slope is a -2, but I need to work it out for y to do the slope of the equation. Now, there is a shortcut to get the slope of the equation. Basically, if I go back to my work, if it's not solving for y, it's in what we call standard form, which is ax plus by equals c. And if I was solving this equation for y, I would do minus ax on both sides. So that means I have by equals a negative ax plus c. And then I would divide each term by b. Okay, just trying to show you how this happens. So y equals a negative a over b x plus c over b. And what we want as the slope is this part, the negative a over b. So this is a shortcut because if I have it in standard form, whatever my a is, I'm doing the opposite and putting it over the b. I say that because on number 7 here, go back. See, we got the slope for the first one, and this is in standard form, which is ax. Let's see, we get that in blue like we did the other one. Ax plus by equals c. To get the slope, whenever it's in this form, your m is basically negative a over b. That's what I was showing you over here. Our m represents negative a over b. So all I gotta do is take those numbers and plug it in. So if I look here, my a is 8, but then the slope would be negative 8 over b, which is 2. That reduces to negative 4. And these are the same, so this would be parallel. Okay, so that means we would highlight this yellow. So this is just a shortcut. If it's in standard form, meaning the x and the y terms are together on the left, and use the coefficient of the a term, this would be an invisible 1, an invisible 1. This slope would be negative 1 over 1, which is just negative 1. This is a visible 1, invisible 1. This slope would be, because we're doing a over b, negative a over b. This would be negative 1 over negative b. B is negative 1, sorry. And this turns out to be a positive 1. These are opposite reciprocals of each other. So this is perpendicular. This is just a shortcut. So I like using the shortcut when it's in standard form because in that instance, like here, I can see the slope is 1/3. Here, I'm going to put my invisible 1. Use the shortcut of negative a over b. So we're using the shortcut that's negative a over b to get the slope m. So that means this would be negative 1. My b is a negative 3 over negative 3, which is a positive 1/3. And then we would see that this would end up being, the slopes are the same, and they would be parallel. So that's the shortcut. If you're not understanding the shortcut, just solve for y each time. So like on number 10, our slope in the second equation is the 4. And then what I would need to do is solve for the y, and for the 4x plus 9y equals 18. So I'm just going to show the work here. Sorry. Go to a new page. For number 10, just kind of go over it one more time to show you. Since 10 has 4x plus 9y equals 18. I'm solving for y, so that means I'm going to subtract the 4x first to eliminate the x term. Rewrite it as 9y equals negative 4x plus 18. Then we would divide each term by that 9 that's in front of the y. Now, this would be, this 4 over 9 can be reduced. This is going to end up being, oh, I take that back. It cannot be reduced. 4 over 9 x, this is plus 2. Misread that. So we have the negative 4/9 here as our slope. And I can compare that to the other equation, was, I think it was just a negative 4 or just 4. Let's see. Yeah, so this one was 4/9. So this is going to be neither. Okay, so find your slope in each equation. If it's in slope-intercept form, just circle it because you can see it. It's the number in front of x. If it's y equals, if not, you need to either solve for y or use the shortcut, which is negative a over b. A is always what's in front of x. B is what's in front of y. If there's a minus sign, this would be negative 10. Okay, if you want to use a shortcut. All right, get this done. This will be due tomorrow. We're starting our last part before our tests. So we're not going to have time in class to work on this. So do your best. Thank you.